There's a new technology that is going to change everything. Every school, every place of work, and every future job opportunity that you come across. This technology isn't just incredibly powerful, but it's also magnanimously dangerous. It must be used with care and with responsibility. This new technology is the first in history that doesn't just do what you tell it to do, but can tell you what to do. And this new technology is just over the horizon. I'm of course talking about artificial intelligence. AI. Now you're probably thinking, Mr. Singer, I thought this video was about AI, so why did you choose to shoot it inside your favourite game? I'm glad you asked. The truth is, for you to understand what AI even is, you need to know that it did not start with ChatGPT. In fact, one of the first uses for AI was video. This is Steve. Steve is my noble steed. We've decimated many a dungeon together, and we're the best of friends. But wait! Oh no! Steve's across the other side of the map. How am I going to reach him? Or, better yet, how is he gonna reach me? The question then becomes, how does Steve find his way back to his master? The answer? Primitive AI, sometimes called basic AI. I'm going to massively oversimplify this to make it easier for you to understand. The AI knows where I am and knows where the horse is, and will make the horse walk in the direction that I am. This works brilliantly. Look at Steve go. Go on, Steve. Until an obstacle is encountered. Oh, poor Steve. Steve! Go around the... Steve! This AI can't think for itself. It's still primitive. It doesn't even know how to go around a rock. Now, modern games are a little bit smarter than that. They use algorithms like Dijkstra's shortest path and the A-star pathfinding algorithm to plot a course for Steve to get to me. More on that in A-level computer science, by the way. Shameless plug. The AI will calculate all the possibilities of the different paths that it can use. It will measure the distance that each one takes. Then it'll choose the shortest path. And that's the one that the horse walks down. I mean, granted, this is a lot smarter than the other method, but it's still not thinking for itself. It's still pre-programmed. It's still primitive. Now, granted, primitive AI is extremely useful, and we've had it for decades. But modern AI is just so much more powerful. The things I do for you. Appreciate this video. Imagine the previous example, but instead of telling Steve how to get where he needs to be, we let him randomly walk around and reward him every time he gets to me. Millions and millions and millions of times. For the first few hundred or even few thousand attempts, Steve will look like a very silly steed indeed. But once he consistently finds me, he will become even more efficient than any program that could ever be written by a human being. This is called machine learning. Modern AI is entirely different to primitive AI. It is outclassing human beings in so many fields. Like the time that it beat a chess grandmaster in the 90s.
This was suspense beyond anything the world of chess had ever known. Garry Kasparov, 34 years old, a cheerful and confident player throughout a dominating career, hovered over his pieces in the deciding game of a match with an implacable challenger. Deep Blue, a computer. Kasparov won the first game in a breeze, but the next day he got the shock of his life. To Kasparov, Deep Blue played the second game much more strongly, differently. Unlike a computer, he said. Kasparov conceded, and the loss wore on his mind for the rest of the match. In each of the next 3 games, the world's preeminent chess players, man and machine, battled each other to a draw. Kasparov's early scorn for Deep Blue's abilities had proven a great mistake. In the final game, the computer led with the white pieces, and soon Kasparov's fans had to admit that the once unthinkable might actually be happening. How had it come to this?
Like the time about a year ago when an AI art generator won a state art competition and the judges couldn't tell that it was made by an AI. This is now. Imagine what this is going to be like in 5 years, 10 years. Goodness gracious.
Can't say we've ever covered the State Fair's art competition, but this is the first year it has been won by our robot overlords. The winning piece was created by artificial intelligence. Actual artists who got beat out are not happy. It's a great debate over what constitutes art and what AI should do. Here's Noel Brennan.
I love a good autumn in Maine.
Art may not require an artist, just an author.
I picture a banana and an apple doing the fandango under starlight.
And I had this vision like a blue tree, huge, and there are bicycles growing off the tree.
Using a program called DALL-E 2, my coworkers' prompts can create paintings.
I would like to see a portrait of a wise old woman. She's seen a lot in her life, but she has kind eyes.
Artificial intelligence produces very real results, like it did at the Colorado State Fair.
I put an AI-generated art piece into the contest in the digital art category, and I won first place.
Jason Allen had never entered an art competition before, and he's gotten some flack.
They're saying, I didn't make it. You cheated. You're not an artist. I disagree. The AI is a tool, like a paintbrush is a tool. And there is a creative force and a mind behind it.
But AI arguably did most of the work.
Did the person who won the award create the program? Should the person who did create the program have credit in the award?
Jessica Hare also competed in the State Fair and took third.
And I have been doing art for so long, I don't know if I'm qualified to say that it is artwork or is not artwork.
I mean, I think that's art. It had a voice, you know, and I think the artist that made it had a voice creating it.
Cal Duran judged the pieces, but didn't know Jason's was done with AI. He'd still give him first place.
I've got some emails where people were like, you know, art is gonna die, and, you know, I don't think so.
How about AI passing the literal bar exam? One of the most difficult exams on this earth. If you don't know, the bar is what you have to pass to be a lawyer in the United States. It's a very difficult test. And AI beat it in the top 10%. How about the fact that AI is diagnosing cancer better than doctors? Doctors, people that study for many, many years to get to where they are. Boom. This then poses the question, how the heck is it doing this? You remember Steve the Steed from earlier? How he tried millions of combinations before he made his way to me? It's exactly the same, except instead of millions of tries, it's billions and trillions of tries in the form of many, not gigabytes, not terabytes, petabytes of data. And you're thinking, Mr. Singer, what the flip is a petabyte? Well, young scholar, let me give you an idea. Your iPhone, 64 gigabytes, right? Your PS5, your Xbox Series X, 1,000 gigabytes, otherwise known as a terabyte. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. That's 1,000 PS5s stacked on top of each other, going up about 5 stories high, filled with games. That much data just for a single petabyte. The amount of data that these companies use is insane. Dogs. Dogs are cute. Sweet little things. Often fluffy. How do you make a dog do a trick? Every time it does it right, you give him a treat. Come here, George. Here you go. Roll over. Well done. Here's a Scooby snack. Here you go. Good boy. Well done. He got rewarded when he did what he needed to do. These AI models work in exactly the same way. ChatGPT gives a right answer. Boom, thumbs up, rewarded. Midjourney, the AI art generators, they make a good picture, rewarded. Dog rolls over, rewarded. Steve gets to where he needs to go, rewarded. It's all about rewarding that good behaviour. But then you've got to ask the question, all this data, all these petabytes of data, whose data? Let's look at the secure. I'm just outside the city of Windhelm. It's currently minus 40 degrees. The frostbite on my fingers is starting to set in, but the coat is helping to slow it down. When I eventually pass out due to the cold, those 5 hawkers over there are going to enjoy a nice 5'5" computer science teacher sandwich. Lovely. This place is pretty dangerous, but not half as dangerous as you putting your personal data into an AI model. What are you talking about, Mr. Singer? Why would that be dangerous? I'll tell you why. With most businesses, most places where you put your information, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any email you might send, wherever it might be, that data can be retrieved legally using the Data Protection Act and more recently GDPR. It's great. You ever find your picture on a company's website and you don't want it there? Boom, you email them, they take it off immediately. But with AI, as we talked about earlier, with Steve and his billions and billions and billions of inputs, once something is put into that model, you are not going to get it back. It will be there forever because it will be used to train the model on the next iteration and the next iteration and the next, and it will be so buried that it's just impossible to get it back out. Once your data is in there, it's never coming back. I mean, heck, this website says that ChatGPT doesn't even follow the Data Protection Act. They don't even claim to. So why would you be under the impression that they're going to care about your data, your details, your images, your videos? Heck, we've only been talking about text, but what about your images? When you upload your face onto those AI apps that make you do the stupid talking song thing, like Wombo,
it just makes you talk like that.
You're giving up the digital rights to that image because it's in there. There's no way of getting it out. And videos too. It's lost forever. Do not put your personal information in there. Here's the one golden rule to follow to stay safe when using AI. never, ever, ever enter personal details that are personally identifiable to you or to someone you know, like a friend or a family member or even an enemy. For example, instead of entering the name of a person, use a pseudonym. That's just a posh word that means fake name. Use a fake name or use initials. That's always going to be safer. For example, instead of John Smith, JS, or just make up a pseudonym, a man named Smithereens, I don't know, whatever suits you. Just don't use real names. And never, oh my goodness, never use real personal details either. Like addresses, phone numbers, email addresses. Never use any of these. They can personally identify a person. That is not okay. Never ever do that. The next one's a bit pragmatic. So imagine you work at B&Q and you hate your boss, right? And you go, ChatGPT, I work at Macclesfield B&Q. I hate my boss. What should I say to them to make them give me a pay rise and stop being so mean to me? Never ever do that. You've just given away where you work. You've given away who you are. You've given away a grievance with a person that otherwise wasn't known to the algorithm. Don't ever do that. And by the way, this is no offense to B&Q. It's just the first place I thought of. Please don't hurt me. Instead, anonymize. I work at a shop. I am having trouble with my boss. What should I say to them to make our relationship better? Etc. And finally, this is mega important because you are school children. Never enter the name of your school, ever. I'm sure you've been taught that in online safety training. If you haven't, you will be soon. Never, ever, ever give away the school that you are at. Never upload selfies that involve the logo or the uniform, and never give that away. Please, for goodness sake, be safe online and be safe with AI. We're going to take a look at a very popular AI platform now. It's called ChatGPT. Very famous, very easy to use, and it'll be a good opportunity to teach you what you need to know. You've got these big, beautiful AI models, these LLMs, large language models, and they're called that because they have learned through their training how to speak to humans in quite a natural way, mind you. So, in this portion, we're going to look at an LLM, large language model, LLM, large language model. We're going to try some prompts. I'm going to show you some good stuff. I'm going to show you some bad stuff and some examples of where this thing falls flat on its face. We're going to talk about fact-checking it to make sure that it's good. And finally, we're going to talk about cheating. But before that, let's start with something basic. Open up ChatGPT and log in. Let's do this. Imagine I wanted to understand a film series that I might not have seen, but I want to get a gist of it before I watch it. I could type something like, summarize the Shrek franchise. Now we can see that it's giving us a lot of detail. It's broken down all 4 films with release dates, but there's quite a bit of high level language in there. We've got like disrupted and embarks and unexpected bond. And don't get me wrong, these are fun words, but you know, what if these words are outside your vocabulary range and you just need something that's quite easy to understand? We can correct it. Watch this. Good, but use words that a 12-year-old could understand. This would be super useful for those of you doing like English and history when you're having to read something and understand it, but a lot of the words are just out of your range. Could be really useful. Obviously, I encourage learning vocabulary. I want you to have a meritorious vocabulary by the time you leave this school, and so do all your teachers. But if you're desperate and you're on your own and you've got no one to ask, it's always worth it as a backup. Let's try it. But use words that a 12-year-old could understand. Let's go. Funny and unusual hero named Shrek is an ogre living in a world of fairy tales. 4 movies that came out, other related stuff. This is far easier on the language front, and you know what? It's not bad. But this is really long, and I'm not a big reader. I like audiobooks, but I'm not a big reader. So what I'm going to do is do this again, but in one paragraph. It's so hard typing one-handed. Boom! Awesome. Well done. Now that's a fun example, something that you might enjoy. But what if you were doing something serious? What if you were doing a computer science homework and you simply, maybe you missed the lesson or you can't remember the forms of secondary storage, the 3 types. Let's see if it knows. Because lots of people are under the impression that this thing can get nothing wrong. That is flipping false! This thing makes a lot of mistakes, just like Steve the Steed made a lot of mistakes before he got perfection. ChatGPT is nowhere near perfection yet. Nowhere near. Let's test it. In fact, I've got the specification for the GCSE right here. Let's go straight down to the bit about secondary storage. Here we go. The 3 types of secondary storage, according to our exam board at least, are optical, magnetic, and solid state. Optical, magnetic, and solid state. Let's see if ChatGPT knows this. Nope. Nope. Already wrong. Already wrong. It didn't say magnetic, optical, and solid state. It said hard drives. That's an example of a magnetic. That's not a magnetic. Solid state. That's an example of solid state. That's not a category. And optical. So it got 1 right with optical. But if you were revising for your exams and you were using this, or even worse, you were using this for a project or a piece of coursework, you wouldn't just be a cheater. You'd be wrong. And you get no marks. Be so careful. You have to fact check these things. You have to. Don't ever go at it on face value. Okay? One really useful thing I found ChatGPT to be great for is remembering stuff. So, for example, the 3 types of secondary storage are, again, optical, magnetic, and solid state. Make up a poem involving Shrek to help me remember these. In a land where storage thrives, behold Shrek, the one who drives. With optical charm he plays a role, the disc that spins and stores your soul. His magnetic heart, a rhythmic beat, hard drive discs he guards with reliable feet. Spinning discs where data lies, Shrek keeps your flies in sweet disguise. Solid state night, a flash so bright, SSDs bring speed, a shining light. No moving parts, oh that's ace! Just chips that gleam, Shrek's embrace in this digital dream. Oh Shrek, the guardian of the storage land, with optical, magnetic and solid state at hand, he stores our tales, our memories grand. In his realm, our data will forever stand. Beautiful. Super, super useful. It's amazing. Super, super useful. Do you know what isn't useful? Failing your GCSEs and or other subjects. Why would ChatGPT make me fail? Number one, because you didn't fact check. But number two, what this is about. Cheating! For those of you that are under the impression that you'll get away with it, don't be. Because AI is really, really clever. And the problem with that is that AI is really, really clever. What? AI-based AI detection tools, say that 5 times fast, are getting better by the day. You say, what the heck does that mean? That means tools that catch AI written content are coming out more and more and more. Basically what I'm saying is, you get caught even with a little bit of AI in your homework or in your coursework, immediate removal from the course. We're talking everything, all that hard work you've done, wasted because you were too lazy and decided to just copy and paste from ChatGPT. Use it to teach you, use it to learn if you must, but never ever plagiarize. Never. Don't be an idiot. Deep fakes. AI deep fakes are becoming properly terrifying. I mean, you've already seen the AI image deep fakes. Yep. I mean, would you know? If I didn't tell you, would you know? You wouldn't. Don't lie to me. And this is now. Imagine what this is going to be like in 1, 2, even 5 years. How much more convincing this will be. I mean, it's already convincing now. For goodness sake. But there's a new kind of AI that you may not have used yet that is even more terrifying. AI voices. I'm sure you've seen the presidents play Minecraft.
You guys hop on Minecraft. There's no way you didn't get arrested yesterday. Joe, there's no way you're awake right now. It's like 1 p.m. Shut up. I went to bed early last night after what happened.
Yeah, we got to rebuild our base. This actually looks terrible.
But this is way, way deeper than that. This guy over here decided that he'd choose a random pop artist and use an AI to copy their voice and make a song using their voice. He records the reference vocals himself and then layers them over the top with Kanye's voice. Check this out. It's flipping convincing.
You might notice that I sound like Kanye West. No, Yeezy didn't record a voiceover for me for this video. I didn't learn how to do impressions. This is AI.
So let me come back to my original voice for a second because this is crazy. Today on Metaverse, I posted AI Kanye covering popular songs. Here's an example of him singing Day and Night.
Whoa, I toss and turn, I keep stress in my mind.
So that's clearly crazy, and I started thinking, what are the implications of this for the music industry? Now all you have to do is record reference vocals and replace it with a trained model of any musician you like, which is exactly what I did. I found this Kanye-style beat on YouTube. I wrote 8 bars, and I'm gonna record them now, and then I'm gonna have AI Kanye replace me. I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted, but I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. So let's hear those vocals I just recorded now with Kanye over them.
I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted. But I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance.
Yo, that new Yeezy track goes hard. Might win a Grammy for that one. I don't know. That's crazy, right? And keep in mind, this is the worst that AI will ever be. In just a few years, basically every popular musician will have multiple trained models of them. And also the UI, the front end of this, is all going to get a lot
You're
simpler.
probably thinking, Mr. Singer, that's cool, that's kind of funny. Why would that be a danger to me? You want to know one of the biggest scams going on at the moment, particularly in the United States? People are using these AI voice generators, taking short snippets of normal people's voices, faking their voice, calling their spouse, their husband or their wife, and pretending to be in an accident, or pretending that they've been kidnapped and that they need ransom money. Don't get the police involved. Babe, I need you. I've been kidnapped. Please send me 20 grand. That's what they want, and then they'll let me go. Imagine hearing that in your significant other's voice if you were an adult. It's flipping convincing. In fact, check out this news report on the phenomenon.
With just a few seconds of audio, new artificial intelligence software can clone a person's voice.
As an actor, I pretend for a living.
As an actor, I pretend for a living.
And a scammer can make it say anything. The Federal Trade Commission issuing a recent warning that voice cloning technology is making family emergency scams more convincing. Just last month, several Oregon school districts warned parents about a spate of fake kidnapping calls. A recent global survey showed 1 in 4 people saying they've experienced an AI voice cloning scam or knew someone who had.
I got a phone call from an unknown number, and so I pick up the phone and I say hello, and my daughter Brianna says, "Mom," and she's crying and sobbing.
Jennifer DeStefano says she was convinced her 15-year-old daughter Brianna had been kidnapped.
And she says, "Mom, these bad men have me. Help me, help me, help me." She fades off as the man takes over the phone and says, "Listen here, I've got your daughter."
She says the scammer threatened to harm her daughter unless she sent him $1 million. How much did it sound like your daughter?
It sounded, I never doubted it was her. I had a full conversation with her. It was the way she cries, it was the way she sobs, it was the way she would respond to me.
Jennifer was able to connect with her husband, who confirmed Brianna was safe. After warning her friends and neighbors, Jennifer says she's heard about hundreds of similar incidents.
Whether it was a kidnapping, whether it was an accident, they were in jail, all these different types of scenarios.
We're going to have a completely new group of scammers and threat actors.
Wasim Khalid is CEO and co-founder of Blackbird AI. I saw that some of these voice cloning programs are as cheap as $5 a month, and you can take someone's voice off of a social media video, use AI, and make that voice say whatever you want it to do. Is that really happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's basically the revolution in AI over the last 6 months. The key takeaway here is generative AI is going to be the catalyst to drive misinformation, disinformation, and warped realities further and faster than we've ever seen before.
He says if you get a suspicious call about a family emergency, first authenticate the person by having them confirm information only you two would know. Have a private safe word for your family, and have someone else call your loved one's actual phone number. Because with AI, what you see and hear is not always what you get.
Finally, the cherry on top of the deception sundae. AI deepfake videos. The videos are flipping insane. And I tell you what, the possibilities with this sort of technology. No, watch it first, then we'll discuss the possibilities.
This is young Simon Cole performing in America's Got Talent in front of Simon Cole, because this is deep fake. And this is a deep fake of Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky asking his soldiers to surrender. One is entertaining, while the other is alarming about the dangers of deep fake. These are the two faces of deep fake. Due to the term fake, the phrase deep fake evokes a negative feeling. Companies like Metaphysic are doing everything they can to dispel the misconceptions about deep fakes in the public eye. This is what they did on America's Got Talent. There are many practical applications for deep fakes across a wide range of sectors. For instance, news outlets may publish news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without the actual reporter present by using a deep fake of their own reporter. They may reduce studio and labor costs, saving the business a great deal of time and money. The news anchor Kim Joo-ha from the Korean television network MBN was deep-faked for viewers. The newsreader would be a fake, as the channel had previously informed viewers, and Kim Joo-ha is still employed. However, MBN stated that it intended to keep using the deepfake for some breaking news reports, and Deep Brain A, the South Korean company that created the deepfake, has stated that it is looking for media buyers in China and the US, which has some people worried that newsreaders may become obsolete. A TikTok account solely dedicated to Tom Cruise deepfakes has been created as a result of how far deepfakes have advanced in recent years. Videos of Cruise doing everything including washing his hands and playing golf, as well as doing magic tricks, are available online. The same firm that produced a convincing imitation of Simon Cowell, Metaphysic, made this. There are many potential uses of deepfakes in the film industry. You may bring a deceased actor or actress back. It is debatable from an ethical standpoint. However, if we don't consider ethics, it's quite doable and simple.
The possibilities with this sort of technology are unbelievably dangerous. You've got everything from fake politics, so you could just, the person that you're against, get a deep fake of them saying something horrendous. Put that out, boom, smear campaign, sorted, decimated, destroyed. Fake consent. Right? I consent to buy this house. Right? You've got a recording of me saying I'll spend £500,000 on this house. And that wasn't really me. That was someone. No, it was you. It was you. We got video evidence. It was you. What about framing people for a crime? I honestly didn't rob the shop. I was at home, for real. You have an alibi? No. Well, what's this footage here of you robbing 9 cans of beans from Aggie Muggy? Disgraceful behaviour. Prison. Sad. Just know that in the age you're going into, in the age that you're growing up in, video evidence, audio evidence and photo evidence particularly, all sorts of evidence though, to be honest, are going to be worth far and far less in the pursuit of truth. And that is absolutely harrowing. But, Mr. Singer, that sounds like bad news. That's a lot of bad news, Mr. Singer, a lot of sadness. Well, we need to talk about your future. A happy future where you get the perfect employment, where you find the perfect job. Recent studies have shown that over 90% of companies want employees with AI experience. Look at all this. And that number is only going to grow as time passes. We are becoming a society and a world more and more and more dependent on computers. Computers are in every single industry. Doctors, lawyers, programmers, game developers, fashion designers, and architects. Every industry I can think of uses computers. Heck, even farming. Look at the right to repair movement at the moment. It's crazy. You are so blessed to be in a school where you don't just learn computer science in year 7, in year 8 and in year 9, but also at GCSE and A-level. Every stage, all the way up to university. So many people have come through these doors and gone on to do full fat degrees in incredible subjects. Like computer science, games design, games programming, computer science and AI, games programming and AI, mechanical engineering and AI, mechanical engineering and computer science. Tons of subjects with tons of job opportunities available to you. Again, every industry needs them. Doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, programmers, fashion designers, architects. Do not get left behind. Choose computer science for your GCSE and your A-level, providing you're committed enough. My name's Mr. Singer. I'm the head of computer science at Titherington School. Have a good day. Goodbye.